We're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Yeah, there's no rivalry anymore. Not with that team. I don't know if there's any rivalry in the NFC West. At least not for the 49ers. That was a beatdown. I know the final score doesn't indicate it. 28-16, San Francisco. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. 888-957-9570. Let's get right into this. That's the number to get involved, and I want to hear from you. Calling, texting, the Comcast Business text line. The Seattle Seahawks, and I get it. No Geno Smith, late scratch. Reports coming in Saturday like, Geno might not play. So we got Drew Lock, who did Drew Lock things. He shows you some flashes and then ultimately makes the mistakes, lose you the game. Had one of the funniest throws over the line of scrimmage that I've ever seen. Drew Lock, a.k.a. E from Entourage. Yeah, that's a reference for you. But watching the game yesterday and watching all around the NFL, quite frankly, I came to the realization there's no one on this team's level right now. And you could say, Spadoni, who gives a damn? It's December 11th, 2023. Wake me up in January and February when the games mean something. Well, they do mean something right now. Because the 49ers, at this very moment, control their destiny for the number one overall seed, which they currently are in the NFC. Dallas Cowboys doing a hell of a job last night, smacking the Eagles. The Eagles, by the way, they don't get their S together, if you will. They may be looking at a first-round exit because it's Niners, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks, then you get the Eagles, Vikings, Packers, yada, yada, yada. So it's wide open in the NFC down below. But it's a two-horse race now, to me. It's the 49ers and the Cowboys. And right now the schedule favors the 49ers. It's not even close. You just look coming up. You got the Cardinals. You got the huge game Christmas Day at Levi's against the Baltimore Ravens, who eked one out over the Los Angeles Rams yesterday. Thought the Rams were going to take care of business there. Rams, they're still lingering, and they will face the 49ers the last week of the season. So that's also going to be a tough matchup. It always is, even though Shanahan has owned McVay in the regular season. If it's a desperate Rams team, things could be a little different. But as it stands right now, it's the 49ers and it's everyone else. No one else is on this team's level when they are playing their best. And I'm pretty confident in saying, about 4 minutes into the show now, 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. They are. Yesterday gave me more confidence in this squad, and not just the game itself, because you could watch that game like, really, Spadoni? That's the game that made you realize that this team's going to win the Super Bowl? That they're this much better than everyone else? Really? Pretty bad throw. He made some good ones, but he made some mistakes there. Looked like he was getting a little shaky in the pocket early on. I get it. Ultimately pulled it out. 19-27, 368 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the pick. Sacked 3 times. Got the, was that the passer rating? 122.1. 66.1 QBR. Whatever the hell that means. But that's the game? Yeah. It's not what the San Francisco 49ers did. It's what all the other teams didn't do around the league. It's what all the teams haven't done up to this point. Not named the 49ers. I'm not impressed with the AFC or any of their representatives. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. Baltimore, sure, okay. But right now, really, in your heart of hearts, pre-gamers, roasters, Steiny and Gurus, Willard and Dibbers, whichever show you like, but you're tuning into this one. And I appreciate you for doing that. 888-957-9570. Hit us up via call or text. Also hit us up on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. It is a Monster Monday brought to you by First 5 California. Visit first5california.com to learn 4 things that you can do to overcome toxic stress. Be sure to download the Odyssey app and also favorite 95.7 The Game so you can take us wherever you need to go, coast to coast, LA to Chicago, as one might say. But in your heart of hearts, as I digress there, the Ravens aren't going to the Super Bowl. And if they are, they're not winning it. I just don't. I don't see that happening. Now, Lamar could show me. Missouri, show me state. I'm not a believer. Chiefs? Oh. See those crybabies yesterday? Wow, the call didn't go your way, Patrick Mahomes. And that's what we're doing. Worst effing call he's ever seen, I think was the phrase after he shook hands with Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, who got the job done. Taylor Swift in the building. By the way, 2 straight losses with T Swift in the building. You hate to see that. Oh, man. I'm trying to think of a Taylor Swift song to tie that in. I knew you were trouble. I knew she was trouble when she. I knew she was trouble when she walked in, Sam. That's what it was. I didn't mean to talk over you. I caught it immediately. I knew she was trouble when she walked in. It was trouble for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yikes.
They just got to shake it off.
Thank you. That's what it was. Shake it off. Shake it off.
All right, we'll stop there.
All right. Now, I know you want to keep going. Happy birthday, by the way, Sam Lubman.
Thank
His
you.
B-Day yesterday.
We're ahead.
Hey, all right. You got to say what's up to one of his idols, University of Miami alum, Frank Gore. So shout out that. Eyes were closed, though, Sammy. Eyes open. You're taking the pics. It's all good. He doesn't care. He got Frank Gore in the picture. Doesn't matter. But Patrick Mahomes crying, getting heated on the sideline, going after the refs or God knows who, throwing his helmet. They're in shambles. So I'm just taking stock of around the league. And in the NFC, again, huge win for the Cowboys. It does feel like, if we're going to take the pulse, it feels like the Niners and Cowboys potentially on a collision course in the NFC title game, which would be massive for ratings once again. And while the Eagles aren't dead yet, I think this was not 1, but 2 slices of humble pie for them in a row. Not only was it your playoff rival of last year, the team that was doing a lot of talking and vice versa, a lot of chatter going into that. Then you get your asses kicked in Philadelphia. And then you go on the road, licking your wounds to your division rival in Dallas, and then you get your asses kicked again. So you got the 2 top MVP candidates, Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, laying the wood on you. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, is done. He's not winning the MVP. You can get him out of all the odds. And right now, I believe it is Dak's the favorite, followed by Purdy, followed by Lamar Jackson. But I believe this is a 2-horse race when it comes down to it, between Dak and Purdy. Prescott v. Purdy. Sounds like it's a presidential election. Who's going to win? Well, it might come down to just who has the better wins. And right now, the Cowboys, in their schedule, goes as follows. Bills next Sunday in Buffalo. That's going to be a tough one. Elements, you would think. And then following that, you got at Miami on Christmas Eve. It's not easy. Then you're hosting the Lions on December 30th. Now, the Lions, that was a stinker they had, losing to the Chicago Bears, who, by the way, the Chicago Bears, not done yet, surprisingly, because they're only 2 games out of a playoff spot. Hell, they're 1 game out of it, if you really want to go dive into it. So it's madness. It's chaos everywhere else but at the top. So you got the Cowboys schedule there. A lot of tough opponents, and they finish up in Washington against one of their division rivals. Juxtapose that with the 49ers schedule, as Jerry Jones would put it, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Got the Cards coming up in Arizona, Calamari and co. we'll see what goes on there. I would expect the Niners to win that, but I was expecting a big blowout yesterday, and although the 49ers handled their business, it wasn't a huge blowout. By the way, did the Seahawks end up covering? What did that line close at? It was like 11.5 or 12 heading in. I'm sure
it was 14.
I was going to say it bumped higher with Drew Lock, correct, Sammy? Thank you. 14.5? Okay. Gotcha. So they covered. And then they got, obviously, I mentioned the Ravens. They got the Commanders as well on New Year's Eve, and then the Rams. So 2 of the 4 you would expect maybe a little closer, but they'll be favorites in all of them. Every single one, they'll be favored. And outside of the Ravens one, probably by 5, 6, 7, 8 points. So things are all coming up Niners right now. And 888-957-9570 is the number. Any more boxes that need to be checked for you, Niner fans? Because I'm just going down the list of everything that a Super Bowl team needs to win. And they need some breaks along the way. Absolutely. And I think the biggest one would be injuries, right? The injury concern, the injury factor. Charvarius Ward leaving yesterday with the groin. Hargrave as well. Get the little stinger, but he came back in and Dre Greenlaw. So, and you already have Hufanga out for the season. There is concern, a little bit. But for the most part, if you got your quarterback, you got your studs on the D-line for the most part. Hell, even Kinlaw was making plays yesterday. If Kinlaw be sneaky, you know what? Give him some credit. He's been playing well the past few weeks, especially in the run game. Got a huge tackle for loss yesterday against Charbonnet and that vaunted rushing attack, that 1-2 punch, which is pretty good between Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. But Kinlaw making plays. If you got your quarterback, you got your D-line, got your O-line. Excuse me. You got that going on. You're feeling like you got a shot. And as long as you really have Brock Purdy, right? We saw that in the NFC title game. Just give me my damn quarterback healthy for the love of God, and we'll take our chances with Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Debo freaking Samuel. Oh, and on defense, yeah, this guy.
Lock steps in, lost it deep down the field. It's underthrown, and it's intercepted by Fred Warner. And he flips it up there, and now there's a penalty flag at the end of the play. It's Greenlaw who has it. Greenlaw still on his feet. Hat flies from an official.
The sideline in San Francisco is going bananas, telling them to get down.
I mean,
Fred Warner with the pick. I mean, this guy's got to be in the DPOY conversation, right? Like, come on. He's got to be. I know it feels like the way that quarterbacks always win the MVP now, it almost feels like that it has to be a D-end for the defensive player of the year because of the sack total. And if it's not a D-end, it's a secondary player like who was one of these? Stephon Gilmore, right? You got to have a lot of picks. Gilmore won DPO, right? Yeah, right? I feel like I'm remembering that correctly. 2019. Good job, Joe. High five. So that's what it feels like. And linebackers, outside of your Luke Kuechly's, right? Like, just doesn't happen. But it should this year. And I got to give credit to Bonte Hill of the Morning Roast, and he'll be on with Joe Shasky in about 45 minutes. They're fired up. 49ers, number 1 seed. We're breaking it down. 49ers 28, Seahawks 16. They improved to 10-3 on the year. And I don't believe anyone's on their level, folks. 888-957-9570. Some of your takeaways from that win. If you're at the game, let me know. It's a victory Monday. What more else do you need, right? But Andrew Greenlaw and Fred Warner, this tandem's been unbelievable. But specifically, Fred Warner, I mean, we go to DPOY right now. He's not even in the top, 1, 2, 4, 6. He's not even in the top 8. Yeah, Micah Parsons the favorite, minus a 30. Then you got Garrett, Watt, Bland, because of the pick sixes. Josh Allen of Jacksonville. You don't have to put Jax if it's DPOY. I think that's all they put in parentheses on this. This is via DraftKings, by the way. Then you got Bosa, Daniil Hunter, Crosby, Khalil Mack. Then you get all the way with the 10th best odds. Fred Warner at plus 7,500. Come on. Parsons deserves A. Game wrecker, baller, I get it. And after what he did last night, I understand. That's why, some of these awards, it comes down to who you're playing at the end of the year, the narrative based, right? Ramona Shelburne used to talk about the NBA, the narratives when it comes to MVPs or Defensive Player of the Years. Well, the narrative right now is working for the Cowboys. I mean, they're America's team. They get all the clicks. That matters when it comes to this stuff. It does. Then you got Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns with Joe Flacco getting it done, baby. Joey Flacco. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him in that beard with the gray bearded Joe Flacco, who looks poised to take the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs, which is pretty incredible. It's like, okay. In a season of backups, when you had Josh Dobbs, and then you had Nick Mullins yesterday, leading the game-winning drive in Vegas, 3-0, by the way. Way to show up Las Vegas, Antonio Pierce off a bye week. Great job there. It was a fun story for a few weeks, but that's over. Aiden O'Connell, yeah. That's enough of that. Jimmy Garoppolo might be playing going forward. And they got a quick turnaround against the Chargers this Thursday. Thursday Night Football. The 5-8 Raiders versus the 5-8 Chargers. Where's my Steiny drop? Where is it? I got it. My God. Oh, I did have it. It's all right. We'll find it. There it is. Yay! I thought they were supposed to be flexing the Thursday Night Football. Oh, hopping on. Oh, Joe Shasky's running the board right now. He said, I just hear read his lips. I have a question for you. Yes.
I have for you.
Yes.
Did you feel that tide?
No, what tide?
The tide last night.
Is it turning?
Patrick Mahomes, as America now hates him for being a crybaby.
I am loving every single second of it, by the way. Oh, the refs don't have my back. Oh, no. It was the worst call I've ever seen, too. No, it wasn't, Patrick. He was clearly offsides. What are we doing here? It was, and Carl Sheffers, by the way, the ref, they did the pool report of it. It was my favorite part. Yeah, it was blatant. It was actually one of the most obvious offsides calls I've ever seen. And I'll double down on it.
Did you also notice the greatest moment in the U history? Frank Gore and a birthday boy, Sam Lubman, throwing up the U on the sideline at a Niner game?
It was an incredible weekend in sports, and that capped it off. Happy birthday again, Sam Lubman. We love that. Sam, it's going to be happy birthday and good feelings all around. I mean, especially because what took place Saturday night in Las Vegas. Am I right? Huh. What a win. What a championship victory that was. Adam Silver, by the way, read the room. Don't tell the Boys and Girls Club of America to get off the stage. God, Adam Silver. It's just, he doesn't get it. And yes, that was Joe Shasky. He's fired up. And I am also fired up, not just because the 49ers win, but Patrick Mahomes' demise and the Kansas City Chiefs. They're in shambles. They're done. They're not making the Super Bowl this year. And if they do, they're not winning it. And that's a huge bonus for the San Francisco 49ers. Why? Because that's the one team that I always looked at in the AFC that's like, you know what? Patrick Mahomes might just have Shanahan's number. Andy Reid just might have his number. Right now, though, no one's on the Niners level. Not even close. Not even the Taylor Swift magic can help them out. And by the way, it looks like the opposite. It's kind of looking like the Kardashian curse, the Swift curse. You hate to see it. You really do. You know what else you hate to see? You really hate to see this from DK Metcalf after that Fred Warner interception.
Kyle Shanahan was halfway to the numbers, and now we got to fight. I think DK Metcalf was in the middle of that. And got a lot going on here. Pete Carroll's on the field trying to separate.
This is how bad feelings started. Metcalf slammed Warner. Warner got him back, and then this.
This isn't the first time with DK Metcalf now. He's a competitor. He's a heck of a player. He just has a hard time controlling his emotions when the game doesn't go his way. And here's another example. Pete Carroll's had a lot of sit-downs with him over the years about this exact thing.
I think Big Dom's thinking right now.
He's glad that
After
someone
the
else
play,
is involved.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 14 of Seattle. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 2 of San Francisco. Both number 14 and number 2 are disqualified. It's first down, San Francisco.
So DK's gone. Lenore's gone. And after that, the 49ers won. That was basically the end of the game. It was just, whatever. But Deommodore Lenore, I'll say this. For as bad as of a sore loser look it was for DK Metcalf in the Seattle Seahawks, and you heard it from Greg Olsen there. He's frustrated. He's a competitor. They're losing. Temper tantrums. It happens. I used to throw my controller all the time when I was losing in Halo or Call of Duty. Same thing. But Lenore, dude, you can't be sucker punching. Come on. He can't, and he might get suspended for next game. That was a bad sucker punch for Demo Lenore. Can't be doing that. Not in that situation. Just get off the field, get all your guys. Shannon, he was getting out there. Carroll, everyone. Just can't have that happen. Can't have a let up, especially with Ward already sustaining a groin injury. And then if Lenore's out next week, then all of a sudden your secondary's looking a little thin and you're playing calamari. All right? Got a low Neal. Doing a hell of a job, by the way, with Larry Krueger on the kickoff show. And shout out Mark Grandy and Sterling Bennett of Overtime, also doing a hell of a job. And Sam Lubman for covering the game at Levi Stadium. It was a banner day again for 95.7 The Game. You're home for all the Bay Area sports knowledge that you need. Come on. Also, you're home of Heavy D out in Concord. What's going on, Heavy D? You're on the pregame show.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great. Thinking about those Jack in the Box tacos right now.
Oh, yeah. I could use a few of those. I was watching Patrick Mahomes crying like a little girl on the side at that press conference yesterday, and the only thing I could think of was when Jessica Simpson started showing up at the Cowboy games, and then everything all went to squat. And, boy, the minute Taylor Swift started showing up at those games, it seems like, history always repeats itself.
Yeah.
Kind of a funny thing.
It really is, Heavy D. What do you think about the game yesterday for the Niners as we laugh and toil at the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? What do you think about the Niners game?
Well, as a very long-term 49er fan, in fact, when I was a kid, my mom used to take me to the games in '81 when Joe first started playing. And I thought the 49ers looked absolutely unstoppable. I was a little bit concerned when Tarvarius Ward left the game with a groin injury, but they seem to be able to rally from that. God, if you can keep everyone healthy, I think they're literally unstoppable. And what will bring me more happiness than anything, and what I'm asking for the holidays, is just to defeat the Cowgirls and go straight to the Super Bowl. That will bring me more happiness than I can possibly imagine. One more Super Bowl in my lifetime. I got to see it, man. And I think this is the snapshot in time where they have to do it. We've got Brock Purdy on that rookie contract. Once he goes off that, then the money's going to have to go someplace else. But this is the time and to get it done, man.
There you go. That's Heavy D getting it done here on the pregame show, 888-957-9570. They got a shot. Got a great shot. I mean, I think they're going to. I think everything is lining up for them to win it all this year. The stars are aligning, what have you. Now, championships aren't crowned in December. It's in February. It's in Las Vegas. At the very least, the 49ers will be representing the NFC. I believe that. Will Jessica Simpson be there when they face the Dallas Cowboys? I don't think so. Her and Tony Romo have been separated for quite some time. But it will be Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen on the call. Fox Sports, we heard earlier. I do know that much. And the 49ers, again, they're going to be hosting it. As I'm looking at the schedule, Cardinals, Ravens, Commanders, Rams. I'm looking at 4-0 right there, at the very least. And if not, 3-1. But I don't think the Cowboys are going undefeated the rest of the season. Bills, Dolphins, Lions. There's an L in there somewhere. And the Bills, all of a sudden, you know what? To their credit, have been playing better. Dolphins, hell, Tyreek Hill, MVP candidate. Lions, still dangerous, although their fangs have seemed to have dulled a little bit here. Losing to the Bears. Disappointing loss, I should say, on Thanksgiving, where we all saw that, maybe they're just a year away from being a year away. Great story still. Love me some Dan Campbell, but not as frightened of the Lions as I once was. And their biggest win against Kansas City now looks like, Chiefs aren't all that this year. They're not. 888-957-9570. We're up against it. Got to take a quick break. Come on back. This is a crazy weekend in sports. Absolutely insane what took place this weekend. We had the in-season tournament finale, huge, in Las Vegas. Lakers defeating the Indiana Pacers. LeBron James looking like a 25-year-old, not soon to be 39-year-old. Unbelievable. Also, watching his son the next day, Bronny James, play against USC, who were massive favorites, by the way, and lost to Long Beach State. You also had the Warriors on Friday night, and the same exact scenario took place that it did earlier against the Thunder. When now they have fouled, Chet Holmgren, remember that? And Chet made it, and then they ended up winning in overtime. Well, the same scenario took place. They did foul him, but in the act of shooting, Chet Holmgren ties the game. 3 shots. Thunder go on to win in overtime. And it's just, you can't catch a break right now for the Golden State Warriors, who are now 10-12. They look to get back on track tomorrow against the Phoenix Suns out in Phoenix. And oh, by the way, Showtime. No, I'm not talking about the show or the channel. Showtime has signed.
Showtime Lakers?
Oh, well, he'll be watching a lot more of them because he's staying in Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers. Thank you, Manfred. Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani is a Los Angeles Dodger. And now I'm hearing reports that they might be the favorites to land Yamamoto, a badass pitcher from Japan as well. Oh, man. Hey, 49ers, though. Victory Monday. That's who you're focused on. That's what we're going to focus on. 888-957-9570. I want to hear from you. Biggest takeaways. And are the 49ers now such a favorite that the only team that can actually beat them is themselves? Because I'm starting to think that that's the case. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hop on in the conversation. 888-957-9570. It's the pregame show with Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Switch to Verizon and you'll save.
Get in the holiday spirit, San Francisco. Verizon has an extra.
Welcome back. Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. A little Kid Cudi on a Monday. A Monster Monday here on The Game, and we're going to do monster numbers. We always do. Why? We got the best audience. We got the best listeners. We got the best callers. It's not even close. And you know the number, 888-957-9570. Call or text the Comcast Business Text line. We're doing numbers on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. Good morning to all of you in the chat. Raleigh, Chris, Damon Chang, Tyler D, EJ, Ernie, the Jose. Is that two of them? Do we get the double amount of subscribers there for the Jose's? There is nothing wrong with Taylor Swift going to Chiefs games. No, there's not. The Jose's. It's just funny when they lose. That's it. The curse of the Kardashians is one thing. Now I'm trying to think of some phrase that works for Taylor Swift. We'll workshop it. 888-957-9570. What's the curse going to be called for the Swifties? It is funny. I saw a lot of memes, though, of sad Taylor in the booth as the Chiefs lost to the Buffalo Bills. And don't worry, we'll get back into the Niners in a second. Niners 28, Seahawks 16. Niners, they're rolling. First overall seed now in the NFC as the Dallas Cowboys smacked the Philadelphia Eagles, who have now lost 2 straight. But it was funny to see all the Taylor Swift memes of just sad Taylor being like, yep, this is what the NFL is really like. You lose, and it's brutal, and it sucks. Especially when you come on the bandwagon just a little bit too late, and now they're just starting to sink. I was like, was it my fault? Oh, maybe. Just maybe. And no, we're not being mean to Taylor Swift. Come on. She's like a billionaire. She's fine. She can handle some memes. You know what I can handle right now? I don't know if the FCC can, so be careful. It's Fabian out in San Jose. What's going on, Fabian? You're on the pregame show.
What's up, Joe? Good morning.
Good morning, bro. How we doing? Keep it clean this time, Fabian. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Thank you.
I know. No, I just wanted to shout out Jair Brown, I think he's playing really good for being a rookie. I think I had maybe some questions at the beginning of the year because he wasn't playing. But now that he's playing, man, he's holding it down for our DBs. Other than that, I mean, just happy we get another win and the Eagles lose again. We got the first seed for now. Just keep going, keep rolling.
There we go. That's our guy Fabian out in San Jose. Keep it rolling. I cut myself off there. Wow. Don't usually do that. Jair Brown. This guy just fitting in seamlessly. You know, he's had some costly mistakes. Not really costly. I shouldn't say that. He wasn't the reason they lost any games, but he's had some hiccups here and there that have costed some big plays. But you know what? He's a rookie. That's going to happen. Let's not act like Hufanga didn't have a lot of burn potential when he was out there. He got burned quite a bit. But he also gambled a lot. And the gambling paid off. Shout out Kenny Rogers. And you look at Jair Brown. He's got 2 picks now. And this was a guy out of Penn State that a lot of guys were high on in that organization. Like, hey, we think this guy could slide in right now. Has all-pro potential. They don't just say that. Not for the defensive guys for the 49ers. He's a 3rd-round pick, again, out of Penn State. And he was a community college transfer, by the way. Lackawanna, Scranton, PA. The only reason I know that is because The Office, Lackawanna County, right? They go to the beach, all that sort of stuff. Was it Lake Wallenpaupack? Yeah. My knowledge runs deep of The Office. Best character, by the way, outside of Michael Scott, who is the best character? It's Creed or Todd Packer. If we're just going best one-liners throughout the show that always get me to laugh, it's those two. But Jair Brown, before the season even started, our guy Brian Baldinger, Baldy, who was in the studio on Friday, you can find the entire, interview in studio for 2 hours on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. You can also download the Odyssey app and find it there as well. Brian Baldinger, who called the game on the radio side nationally, did a hell of a job. Love Baldy. We had Chris Mullen call him to surprise him at around 9:45 on Friday. That was really cool. Just to be kind of a fly on the wall with 2 legends of their respective sports, 2 great broadcasters as well, talking shop. Pretty freaking cool. So find that entire thing. But Brian Baldinger, he said a few weeks ago, was it a month now, when Hufanga was out for the season, that Jair Brown has all-pro type of potential. All-pro. As a rookie. Before he even played snaps, Brian Baldinger thought this. And if you know Baldy, in his breakdowns, he doesn't just say that sort of stuff. Jair Brown might be here to stay. It's pretty incredible. 888-957-9570, the number. Real quick, before we get back out to the lines, I see what Miguelito and SF wants to talk about. We can squeeze this in. I mentioned it earlier. Go ahead, Miguelito. You're on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. What's going on, bro?
Hello, Spadoni. Your screener was asking me if I wanted to, what I want to say is yabba dabba doobie doo for Nick Mullins. He was much maligned. Unfairly, I felt unfairly when he was a 49er. He played on some phony teams, man. Nothing like the team they got now. And now he's on the Minnesota Vikings, who are better than the teams he played for in the 49ers, but not quite as good as the 49ers. The 49ers are awesome. But I just want to say, I'm happy for Slick Nick, man. He got blamed. I never heard Shasky and Bonte call somebody so many names, man. And it's not about your Raiders, I'm sorry about your Raiders. I'm just saying that Nick Mullins is a good story. They say Brock Purdy is a story. Nick Mullins is a story, too.
There you go.
I just hope that they meet in the playoffs, and if they meet in the playoffs, I'm home with my brother Nick.
There you go. It's Miguelito and his brother Nick Mullins, who, again, had the game-winning drive yesterday after not playing the entire game, comes in late in the 4th quarter, and leads a game-winning drive. Get the field goal. 3-0. God, we were so close to having a 0-0 score, which never happened in the history of NFL going into the overtime 0-0, which is pretty unbelievable. Just to think of all the bad offenses back in the day, that too had never happened. And Aiden O'Connell and Josh Dobbs almost combined for it yesterday. The Raiders are coming off a bye, by the way. I think the Vikings were too. Yikes. Well, is what it is. Probably for the best for the Raiders to lose that game. Better draft position. They need some help. They need a new head coach. They need a new quarterback. They need lots of new stuff. Devontae didn't even speak to the media. He's probably going to get traded. Josh Jacobs, he's hurt. He's probably going to be done. Lots of question marks around that franchise, but the biggest in terms of just the franchise and it's more the stadium they play in. It's who's going to be playing in Las Vegas in the Super Bowl? Because it sure as hell ain't going to be the Raiders. Maybe it's Nick Mullins and the Vikings. No, Miguelito. Nice little story yesterday. That was fun. But Nick Mullins, Raider legend, by the way, too. Playing the preseason for them last year. Also, if you watch the quarterback doc on Netflix, Nick Mullins, helping Kirk Cousins out a lot when it comes to memorizing plays, what have you. So, look at that. Nick Mullins even helping out the vets. 888-957-9570. From Nick Mullins back to Brock Purdy, who Miguelito said is an all right story. No, Brock Purdy is the story in the NFL right now. He's one of the MVP frontrunners along with Dak Prescott. I believe it's a 2-horse race. And these next 4 games for both teams is going to determine a lot about not only the number 1 overall seed, but the MVP, DPOY. Hell, 3 awards, really, if you think about it, because Micah is the leader in the clubhouse for that. So a lot to be done. But right now, we're just soaking in a victory Monday. How you feeling, 49ers fans? There's no one on your level right now. You look down on everyone. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, the Eagles, Big Dom. Get out of here. It's the Niners world right now. We're just living in it on 95.7 The Game.
Boom, 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 boom. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more.
95.7 The Game.
Will the real NFL contenders please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. One more segment before handing it off to the morning roast. Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky, they're fired up. Why shouldn't you be? 49ers, 28. Seahawks, 16. Drew Lock, God bless him, did his best. God love him. I do. I got a soft spot for Drew Lock. He does something ridiculous every game. And he shows flashes of like, oh, this guy can be good. No. I think I predicted a turnover. I was a series too soon, but like Shasky's like, they should be blowing this team out. I was like, don't worry. They'll get ahead, and they basically will. They handled that game. There's at no point in that game where I was like, Seahawks are winning this thing. No. Not when Pete Carroll at midfield, was this the second or third quarter? But midfield, 4th and 2, you're on the road, you're on a losing streak, and you're on a backup quarterback, and you don't go for it? What do you got to lose? That signaled to me that they weren't winning this game. That was such a soft call from now a soft head coach. I'm going to say it. Pete, roll the dice. What do you got to lose? You're also like 73, 74. Come on, man. How many more seasons are you going to be doing this? The season is slipping. Show some backbone. Well, that's what the 49ers defense did yesterday. 2 picks, Fred Warner, Jair Brown. They were laying the wood. It was a physical game on both sides of the ball. Leonard Williams was getting after Purdy. Purdy took some shots, took some big hits, actually. Impressed that he bounced back, because that's what he does. I mean, that's the most impressive part about this. And one thing that I will say with Jimmy Garoppolo, he was tough. Now, he got hurt a lot, which ultimately was his demise here in San Francisco because he just wasn't on the field. But he was tough. He hung in there. Now, he'd make some mistakes, is what it is. But it never seemed like, I could go after a game and say, you know what? This guy is so soft, so-and-so. No, I never said that about Jimmy Garoppolo. Same thing with Brock Purdy. Guy's not soft at all. The happy feet, rarely see it with him. Now, he is a shorter quarterback in stature, so it is harder when that pocket starts, closing in around him. That cage-style defense that Ross Tucker was alluding to last week with Steiny and Guru, when you're just trying to create this swarm around the quarterback so he can't go anywhere. That's when a little bit where it's like, oh, okay. But even then, somehow, some way, he scampers out of it and throws it on a rope. Yesterday, tried to do that step up, threw it within the outstretched hands of Brandon Ayuk. It was picked off. But other than that, just another ho-hum MVP type of performance from Brock Purdy. 888-957-9570, the number. Good morning to all of you just getting off work, getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for the week. 2 weeks till Christmas, by the way. 2 weeks. So get that shopping done. Happy Hanukkah to all of you. What day are we on of Hanukkah right now? We'll look it up. To all my Jewish brothers and sisters out there. What day are we on? Hanukkah day number... No, I don't have it up. I tried my best. Let me know. To my Jewish brothers and sisters, what day are we on? 888-957-9570. Just starting on December 7th? Okay, so we're 7th, 8th, 9th. So we're on the 5th day. Okay. Shout out math. 8 Crazy Nights. Adam Sandler. Sam's like, what the hell is Spadoni talking about right now? God. Get your religions right, Spadone. I know. That's how many years of Catholic school? 18 years of Catholic school, pretty much. We'll just go preschool because my mom and dad were Catholic. Yeah, it's all gone. All my Old Testament knowledge, it's gone. New Testament, God, it's just... I know to say the prayers in Spanish. Shout out Spanish class. Padre nuestro, que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. All right, no one wants to hear that. What I want to hear from is the players. And Brock Purdy being a part of a special group of playmakers.
I'm a part of a special group, you know. Any one of our guys, any one of our eligibles, man, you get the ball in their hands and then they can go do the rest. You know, break tackles, obviously have pull away, breakaway speed. I mean, we see it every game. So to throw like a 5-yard pass or even a deep ball, it doesn't matter. We got playmakers.
More from the quarterback. Ask what he is seeing from Debo this year compared to last year.
I feel like he's just more intent, you know, with the little things. And then obviously like his effort and stuff when he's not getting the ball, you know, carrying out fakes and stuff to open up, you know, Christian or play action pass. You know, he's doing it right. Last year was my first year with him, so I didn't really know a whole lot. I thought he balled last year. You know, you get the ball in his hands and he still killed it, but he came back this year in great shape, looking good, and then has given everything to this team. You know, very proud of him, and obviously when you do get him the ball, he's the same old Debo, makes plays.
Debo Samuel yesterday got the rushing touchdown, got 7 receptions, 149 got a receiving touchdown. Yesterday was just a spread the wealth day for Brock Purdy. It was just unbelievable, top to bottom. Again, just mentioned Debo Samuel's stat line. Brandon Ayuk, 6 receptions, 126 yards. George Kittle, 3 receptions, 76. He got a touchdown. And then he had Christian McCaffrey, oh, by the way. 16 carries, $145. Psh, it is what it is. No touchdowns for Christian. A rarity. But I don't think he cares. That whole record, was it Lenny Wilkens? Is that who it was? Yeah, who cares? It's the past. This team's got one goal in mind right now. That's Lombardi. That's Operation Las Vegas. Where a champion was already crowned this weekend in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. That being the Los Angeles Lakers. It was almost a banner weekend for the city of Los Angeles and the city of Angels if the Rams were able to come through, because not only did they get the in-season tournament champs, they got Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers. Again, for just joining us, Shohei Ohtani, if you've been under a rock. No, he did not fly to Toronto. He stayed in Los Angeles and is now a Dodger. What's his dog's name, by the way? We're wondering what the dog's name has something to do with this. Are we going like just first names? Is it Jackie? Is it who are we going out there? Is it Tommy? What other names are we going with? Ethier? That's not a Dodger. That's horrible. Come on. 888-957-95. Gagne? Not over yet, Giants fans. Hey, I know this one hurts. But as Joe Shasky always says, and he'll be on here in a few minutes, pivot, don't panic. Although it's kind of hard to wrap your head around Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, all in the same lineup. And this via Sarah Langs, the great Sarah Langs on MLB Network. With Ohtani, who won American League MVP, plus Betts and Freeman, who finished second and third for the NL MVP, the 2024 Dodgers will be the 5th team to begin a season with 3 players who each finished top 3 in MVP voting in the previous season in either league, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. They will join the 04 Yankees, 67 Orioles, 60 White Sox, and the 42 Dodgers. And that 04 Yankees team, yeah. Rodriguez, Posada, Sheffield. Not bad. And oh yeah, the Orioles, Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell. Decent players. God, it's just sick. Must be nice. Must be nice. Guys signing a guy's entire contract that is basically the entire Oakland A's salary from the last decade, all in just one off season. Ugh. Sorry, A's fans. I really am. I was one of you too, and just, it's tough watching all this unfold. That's why we're focusing on the 49ers. Happy thoughts, everyone. Happy thoughts. Shanahan on the secondary stepping up yesterday.
I thought Ambry had a hell of a game. I think he's been playing his best football here. I was so proud of him, getting that penalty, not retaliating back. Thought Demo was unbelievable today. I wish he would have got that pick. I know Nick feels a little bit bad about that, but, hated his retaliation, but we'll deal with that on our own. And then I thought Isaiah stepped it up too. I mean, we had to move guys around, and Isaiah's been a stud. He's ready for everything at any time in the game. Last week versus Philly, he had to go in and play safety on the second play when Gipp went out. And then it was kind of the same thing this week. Just we had to bump Demo outside and get him back to nickel, and those guys had a real good game.
888-957-9570. The 49ers, they take care of business 28-16. They improved to 10-3. Number one seed as it stands right now in the NFC. They control their own destiny for home field throughout the playoffs. Again, the quest for 6. They want a Lombardi. They want to get home field. They are on the track to do so. 888-957-9570. We're also on track for the morning roast because they're up next. Bondale, Joe Shasky on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1.